Hey everybody. So I want to talk about this Michael Jackson situation. And I've been holding off on it for a while. Because it's like, it's just one of those things where it's like, people are very sensitive about it, whether he did it or whether he didn't do it. And my thing is, okay, he probably did it though. Like, and you know what? I'm gonna say it right here, right now. If it somehow comes out in the future that he somehow didn't do it, even though all the evidence is pointing to that, I will be the first to apologize. But I have to speak up for what I know now, and what I believe to know now is that he probably fucking did it. He probably did it, y'all. Let's not skirt around the fucking issue. What's the main issue? Aside from all the other evidence and things I'm going to be talking about in this video, what I want to get across right here, right now, at the beginning of the video, is that if it was not Michael Jackson who did these things, y'all, if it was just some man in the neighborhood who had boys sleeping over his house, just sleeping over his house, what would y'all say? Call the fucking police. That man is a pedophile. But since it's your favorite singer, oh, now it's okay. Your favorite singer who has all this power, he has dominion over his whole place, okay? Got everybody under his control because he's paying everybody. His family basically lives under him because he's paying them too. He's basically supporting them. So of course they're not going to speak out against him, and also that's their family. You see what I mean? And he has fans all over the world who are going to be constantly fighting allegations with their words. And y'all know how powerful words really are. We all do, okay? The man had serious power, physical power, wealth, and he had the hearts and minds of people all over the world, okay? If he wanted to get away with something like that, he very well could have, and I believe he did, okay? The only person in that family who had the guts to speak out about any of this was LaToya. And everyone likes to call LaToya a liar. But you know what? When I look back at those interviews that she did with those people, I don't see a liar. A liar is going to be stumbling over their words constantly. Okay? A liar is going to be like shifting their eyes, going to be doing this, that, and the other with their hands. They're just going to be doing whatever they can, unless they're a sociopath. And I don't believe LaToya is a sociopath. They're going to be doing whatever they can to like distract themselves from the fact that they are lying to millions of people. I didn't see that with LaToya. I saw a person who just who desperately wanted her brother to get some help. Desperately wanted the truth to be out there so that these victims could get some type of closure. Let me change the battery on the camera real quick though, because it is about to go out. So yes, battery changed. Now I can fully jump into this, okay, without any anxiety. So for anyone who literally still believes that LaToya is a liar, why would you say that? I understand everyone's a little suspicious of her because at the time she had basically shunned her entire family. There was a lot of bad blood between her and her family, between all the times that she tried to run away, and then finally the Playboy shoot, and then, a lot of stuff came after that as well. They tried to kidnap her, apparently. It's wild. Read her book. It's a wild-ass ride. Point is, yes, she didn't like her family all that much, but at the time she was still tight with Michael specifically. So my thing is, that was the last of her family that she had left. The last of her family, okay? Why in the world would she throw that away just for some publicity or some money or whatever? Why? I just don't understand how or why a person could do that to their own brother if the allegations against him were not at least a little bit true. Why would anyone do that to anyone at all? Unless it was the truth. It just doesn't make sense. It don't make sense. And so it gets on my nerves that the black community, it's not just the black community, it's really everybody, but the black community that's the people I've seen taking up for him the most, saying, oh, he didn't do it, those are lies, they're liars. I don't want to hear that shit. I really don't want to fucking hear that shit no more. Okay? I really don't. Like, why did it take them so long to come out? The same reason it takes every sexual victim, every child sexual abuse victim to come out. Because the shame. And also, they trick you into believing that you're in an actual relationship, when really, they have full control over you because you're a child who doesn't fully understand what the fuck is going on. Children aren't fully here, if you know what I mean. Like, they're experiencing what is happening, yes, but because they don't understand, they can't act on the situation right then and there. It's only when they grow up and they look back that they realize, hey, oh shit, yeah, I was abused. That's what happens for a lot of people. And then once you realize that you were abused, then comes the shame. But what I'm saying is, like, when these kids originally testified, they probably didn't understand that they were being manipulated. Of course they wouldn't testify against him. In their minds, he was their best friend. When the manipulation is that good, you don't know you're being manipulated. Like, that's the goal for a predator, is to make you believe that there is no abuse, period. In the child's mind, in order for that to be true, y'all have to be friends. This has to be something that both of y'all are in on. The predator is who's doing the crime, but they will communicate to the child that if you tell anybody what's happening, both of us are going to jail. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. So then there's that element to it. They're afraid that they're going to let everybody down. They're afraid they're going to let their family down if they tell the truth. They're afraid they're going to let their new friend down if they tell the truth. And then there's also another element of, oh, I don't want to go to jail because a grown man has communicated to me that I might be in trouble too. I might get in trouble as well as him. And when you're in the line of work of sexually abusing children, you say whatever you have to say to keep them quiet. And I'm sure it makes a deep impression on these children to the point where it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to say it, let alone let it go. Sometimes it truly does take decades for people to fully come to terms with what happened to them, because their brain, most of the time, a lot of the time, like, when someone goes through that type of abuse, that is that, you know what I mean? Like, that bad. In order for the person to survive, they have to, like, compartmentalize it off into some part of their brain and just, like, that never happened. Suppress. And they go through their life suppressing, and they never truly deal with it. And it's a chain of events. Like, it at some point, it is that adult's responsibility to come to terms with what happened to them as a child. But to be fair, it should have never happened to them in the first place. And that's really what I want to get across. There's a real shame that comes along with having been abused to that extent. A real shame. Not that anyone should be ashamed, but that's just the natural response to something like that. Especially when you're a child. If y'all would just take a second to look into these things and actually give a damn about the truth, y'all would have known. Y'all would have just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me that people are still caping for him. Like, people like Dave Chappelle are really out here saying shit like this.
I'm going to say something that I'm not allowed to say. But I got to be real. I don't believe these motherfuckers. I do not believe it. But let me qualify the statement. I am what's known on the streets as a victim blamer. You know what I mean? If somebody come up to me like, Dave, Chris Brown just beat up Rihanna. I'll be like, well, what did she do? Dave, Michael Jackson was molesting children. Well, what were those kids wearing at the time? I don't think he did it. But you know what? Even if he did do it, You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
No. No, I don't understand. I don't understand what you mean. What the fuck? What the fuck kind of jokes are these? Are these jokes?
I mean, it's Michael Jackson. I know more than half the people in this room have been molested in their lives. But it wasn't no goddamn Michael Jackson, was it? This kid got his dick sucked by the king of pop. All we get is awkward Thanksgivings for the rest of our lives. You know how good it must have felt to go to school the next day after that shit? Hey, Billy, how was the weekend? How was my weekend? Michael Jackson sucked my dick. And that was my first sexual experience. If I'm starting here, then sky's the limit. I know it seems harsh, but man, somebody's got to teach these kids. There's no such thing as a free trip to Hawaii. He's gonna want to look at your butthole or something.
This doesn't sound like the same genuine Dave Chappelle that I knew growing up, okay? And you know what? Who cares if he's Michael Jackson? You are such... If you're not a predator yourself, you are an apologist. Which I suppose is not as bad as being a predator, but you know what? It's not that good either. The thing that Dave Chappelle said really fucking haunts me. Because, like, it makes it seem like he's making light of all of this, like it's not a big deal. But then he'll turn around and do this Emmett Till speech that's just so empathetic and so just completely understanding of all the different facets of the situation. But when it comes to things like this, it seems to me like he just doesn't give a damn, or that he's willing to do nothing in the face of something like this. His words are very suspicious. Makes me suspicious of his character. My belief is that he's compromised in some way. Like, why? How could you? Like, if you truly don't believe that it's true, fine. But if you have even the slightest belief that it might be true, why would you, you know what I mean? Like, why would you even take that risk of saying something that insensitive about people who have been through things like this? Like, I'm not saying, I don't want to compare struggles, but I just don't understand how you can be so poignant about the Emmett Till situation, but then turn to look at something like this and be like, oh, no, it's fine. This happens all the time. Who cares? Who cares? If it is true, it's Michael Jackson. Who cares? Who cares? I'll let him diddle my kids. That's what I'm getting from this. Those are the vibes that I'm getting from Dave Chappelle right now. Who cares if Michael diddled children? I don't care. He can do whatever he wants. He's Michael Jackson. Who gives a fuck who he is? He's a disgusting predator. Yes, he was very good at writing music. Yes, he had a certain spark. He had a certain vision that we love. But he was a piece of shit. Like, y'all really, like, why would y'all really out here making exceptions for your favorite artists? It's like a random man on the street does something. It's one thing. But your favorite artist does it, and it's something completely different. Oh, he didn't mean to do. Oh, it's a mountain of excuses. Get your head right. Y'all are doing too much for people you don't even know. People you'll probably never know, who don't give a fuck about you, don't know you exist. Putting all this energy into letting other people know that they definitely didn't do what they probably fucking did. Spare me. Spare me, bitch. Okay? Like, we don't have to, bash Michael Jackson. We don't have to do any of that. All we have to do is acknowledge the victims. That's all we really have to do. Like I'm not asking for anybody to be just walk around like, oh, Michael Jackson's a piece of shit. Like, I hate him now. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm just asking people to acknowledge the whole of what he was. Stop making excuses for him. And by extension, making excuses for yourself and the people in your life. I have to assume. When you're willing to make exceptions for somebody you don't even know, right? Who knows who else in your life you're making exceptions for when this kind of thing comes up? Motherfuckers. I see you. I see you. Everything's connected. It's like, I don't regret mourning his death, okay? Just like everybody else was sad when he died, I was fucking sad. I was very sad. I locked myself in my room for days just listening to his music on repeat. And I don't regret mourning his death. But I don't fucking like the obsession with putting him on this pedestal. It's not healthy. It's not healthy to put anybody on a fucking pedestal. We're all human. And y'all putting him on a pedestal like that was probably part of the reason he felt like he had license to do what the fuck he did. Not saying that gives him an excuse to have done it. Not at all. But this is the type of behavior that our culture breeds. And this is that's what it is. This is what it is. He probably fucking did it. End of fucking discussion. We can acknowledge both sides of a person. It all factors into what the person ultimately is. All of it factors in. So if you're turning away from one aspect of a person, that means you're not accepting them for what they are. And that means you don't really love them like you say you do. So whatever y'all want, y'all can believe whatever you want. At this point, I don't really care. I've gotten my feelings out there. I've said my piece. So, yeah.